Good afternoon, everyone. Please join me in thanking the University organist, Annette Girk. Welcome, Kaya. My name is Professor Cara McNish, and I'm the Chair of the Academic Board, the peak academic body of the University. I'm here to tell you a little about today's graduation ceremony, its history, the people involved, and how this afternoon's events will proceed. Before proceedings commence, could I please request that your mobile telephones are turned down or off, and advise that should an emergency occur in the venue, we'll take our lead from the theatre staff. On behalf of all my university colleagues, I'm delighted to welcome you to this afternoon's graduation ceremony. To begin, I'd like to acknowledge that our ceremony today takes place on Whadjuk Budja, the country of the Noongar people, and pay my respects to Noongar elders past, present and emerging as custodians of this historic place where we meet. And we're fortunate today to have a formal welcome to country from Mr. Barry Maguire. Today's graduation ceremony is also a traditional celebration of the university. UWA takes great pride in its history, having enrolled its first students over 100 years ago. However, our roots are deeply embedded in the academic values and traditions that for many centuries have given rise to the world's finest universities. The traditional nature of our graduation ceremony serves to highlight this enduring connection with our heritage. As has been the case in universities across the globe throughout the centuries, the ceremony will begin with the arrival of the academic procession. This procession comprises graduating scholars, academics and office bearers of the university attired in their formal academic regalia. UWA is very much an international institution, and our academic staff come from universities from a wide variety of countries and cultures. So in this afternoon's procession, you'll see a varied and often colourful array of regalia from around the world. The procession will be led by graduating students, followed by academic staff in order of seniority. At the end of the procession will come the principal officers of the university, members of the university's governing body, the Senate, and our distinguished guests. The final figure in the procession will be the Chancellor of the University, the Honourable Robert French AC, who is immediately preceded by the mace bearer. The mace will be carried by a current student and is a symbolic representation of the authority vested in the Chancellor, who is Chair of the University's Senate. After the National Anthem, the Chancellor will formally welcome all graduates and guests and guide us through the ceremony. During the ceremony, there will be a short musical interlude performed by students of the WA School of Music. You will, I believe, find much to interest you during this afternoon's proceedings, but of course the main reason you have come is to witness the graduation of our scholars, and I hope you will all join with my colleagues and me in warmly congratulating each scholar who comes across the stage to have his or her degree conferred. And while it is an historic setting, it is also a celebration, and I invite you to express your enthusiasm wholeheartedly as our graduates are awarded their degrees. And a little noise is fine. There will be a professional video and photographs of the ceremony and professional photographers waiting downstairs. But please do feel free to stand where you are to capture your own images of the moment. Now, would you please all rise to your feet so that the arrival of the academic procession can begin. Thank you.
Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the University Senate, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to welcome you to our 8th Autumn Graduation Ceremony. I particularly want to acknowledge the presence today of Mr Adrian Feeney, OAM, who will be awarded an honorary degree of Doctor of Commerce and will deliver the graduation address, and Ms Elizabeth Dogood, who will deliver the valedictory address. The Warden of Convocation, Dr Doug McGee, members of Senate, former Chancellor Medal recipients, Mr Lance Mashmet and Mrs Annette Gork. In accordance with the tradition of the University, I will now invite Mr Barry Maguire, a representative of the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, to welcome us to country.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Senate, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank and start by thanking the University of Western Australia for including this a process and a protocol of a welcome to country inside of these gatherings. You see, it was always here. It was always in and on this continent between us as Aboriginal nations. Since the world was soft, we have been talking to each other. We have been gathering like we gather now. And why is a welcome to country important? It's about sharing a sense of place, sharing the knowledge that was always there. And when you go into that next part of the land, you must learn theirs. So how do we stand? By giving each other the knowledge in order to go forward. It's still in the same practice here today as a university, in the way that many nations come. Many nations learn from each other. And the structures of life, in the way that this country and the economics of it has built it and gone forth to be a great nation within the world. But for thousands and thousands of years, we have been trading too. We have been talking about the science of the weather, the understanding of meteorology through our songs, health and well-being, the anatomy of human beings, the anatomy of animals, the way that medicines come forth from out of the plants in the system within this environment. It lives within a song. And these songs have been written into us, just like your graduates have been written into today for tomorrow. Congratulations to the families that have come to see your child or your family member graduate in a very long and hard term of standing there and reading and reading and reading. You see, when we taught, we sang and we sang and we sang, and we wrote the books of tomorrow. And us children of today are the books of our ancestors. No matter what nation we come from, we are the books of our ancestors, the echoes of life that has constantly lived on this whole planet. And when you look at us as Australians today, the many nations that we sit under that one name. It's beautiful to see many nations here today. And for you as families to come and see your family collect a paper of importance. Later on as you travel home to your place and your family or your place of rest. And may the energies of my ancestors be with you and keep you safe always from today onwards. So welcome to the Whadjuk lands. Welcome to University of Western Australia. Welcome to your graduation. And keep writing into tomorrow a better way of living, and learn about each other's life, no matter what we look like or where we come from. So may I share in this old song, and this old song is of Kings Park. And may this song keep you like it has kept us as Aboriginal people, and make us stronger as Australians into tomorrow. Wanarega malana, wanarega malana, boyongora waningo, boyongora waningo, wanarega malana, boyongora waningo, wanarega malana, wanarega malana, boyongora waningo, boyongora waningo, wanarega malana. Boyongora waningo. Graduates, congratulations. May the energy of that old song keep you and make you strong in your step of life for tomorrow. God bless, stay safe. Make a smile no matter where you go.
Thank you, Barry. Your welcome reminds us, as always, of how the deep Indigenous history that lies across this country now forms really a part of our national identity. Today we share in a ceremony which is deeply rooted in the history and tradition of universities in this country and around the world. It marks the formal recognition by the university of the achievements of its graduands in meeting the standards and requirements of the various courses of study and research which they've undertaken over a number of years. The ceremony joins them with members of the academic staff who have taught them or supervised their work, and with representatives of the convocation of the university, which is part of the university and which, as graduates, they join. The ceremony also brings them together with parents, friends and other relatives who have supported them in their work and share intimately in their achievements. This university has a long history of achievement and excellence in teaching and research and engagement with the wider community for the benefit of the state, the nation and indeed the global community of which we're all part. It was established, in the words of the University of Western Australia Act of 1911, to advance the prosperity and welfare of the people. It was the product of the vision and energy and commitment of extraordinary individuals who founded it and who were its benefactors. Its achievements are the achievements of people, those who teach and research here, those who govern and administer the university, and the alumni who go from this place to make their contributions in a myriad of different ways. It's not just a degree with which you, the graduands, leave this place. It's a degree from the University of Western Australia, which is one of Australia's leading universities and, according to international rankings, one of the world's. Each of you who graduate today will be presented with a Noongar message stick, carrying with it the story of this place. According to Indigenous beliefs, tribal boundaries were established by the great spirits of the Dreamtime. No human had the right to interfere with those boundaries or to venture onto others' tribal land. But the bearer of a message stick could cross those boundaries. They were traditional passports from one nation to another in Indigenous Australia, and they are seen as carrying the stories of Indigenous people across the land. So in a symbolic way, we entrust the story of this place to you, to carry it into the world. The gift symbolises a permanent connection, which is expressed in the timeless language of the Noongar people. For all of you, I express the hope that the knowledge and skills you have acquired at this university will enable you to follow the lifelong path reflected in its motto, to seek wisdom and to apply it for the good of all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to invite the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dawn Freshwater, to give a brief opening address to today's graduands and their parents.
Chancellor, graduates, parents, partners and friends of the university, congratulations. It is my privilege to congratulate you on behalf of the University of Western Australia. This afternoon's ceremony is an opportunity for all of us, graduating students, parents, friends and staff, to formally recognise and celebrate your outstanding achievement in graduating from UWA. Graduation is a culmination of many years of hard work, and I hope that you'll remember your time as a UWA student with pride, excitement and accomplishment. During your time here, you would have enjoyed moments of great joy and satisfaction, as well, of course, as having endured setbacks and challenges. The disciplines in the School of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences will have prepared you for your future at many levels, and you should feel a great sense of pride at how those years of persistence and resilience have paid off. As you sit in this beautiful hall with your fellow graduates and surrounded by those close to you, celebrate and look to the future with ambition and purpose. I know that as a university we've provided you with something greater than a world-class education. Being a student is much more than providing you with access to academic excellence. I hope that you found time as a UWA student to become involved in the many facets of campus life, the clubs, the societies, overseas exchange programs, work-integrated learning, and community internships. All these experiences have offered you an opportunity to further develop your skills and prepare you for the future. Our graduates make a difference and have been doing so at a local, national, and international level for more than 100 years. We know that much has changed during that time, and our graduates are now emerging into a rapidly changing world. In engineering, a recent graduate was awarded the coveted position of Adecco CEO for 1 month, becoming the national head of a Fortune 500 company. She developed a broad range of management, HR, finance and marketing expertise, which has provided her with great insight into her chosen career. The graduate has since made it her goal to inspire other women to take their place in the currently male-dominated mining and resource sector. In addition, last year, 12 student ambassadors travelled to the Kimberley to promote science, technology, engineering and mathematics to high school students. The Girls in Engineering programme, a partnership with Rio Tinto, has continued to promote STEM subjects, engaging nearly 900 young women. Music Made by Me is another example, a Girls in Engineering collaboration between 9 universities and Engineering Australia. So graduates, you should feel confident that on this journey you've been well prepared to take your place in this highly competitive working environment. The fact that you're sitting here this afternoon provides you and proves that you have mastered subject matter, concepts, techniques, acquired skills that equip you for this lifelong learning. Just a quick word about the period of disruption that we're in, the turbulence and the global uncertainty that we know we face. There's much conjecture about our future world, including what the jobs and careers of the future will look like. You're graduating at a time when the rise of populism has spawned such terms as fake news, post-truth and alternative facts. Globalisation, we know, has brought many opportunities. It's also provided us with areas for critical debate and intelligent dialogue. And this is why, graduates, it has never been more important to acquire knowledge and apply it to societal issues through evidence. I urge you to use the knowledge and the skills you've learned, especially the power of critical thinking, to rally against this trend and demonstrate that knowledge, facts and evidence matter. Some commentators, as you may have heard, have suggested that graduates of the future are likely to have up to 5 careers and 17 jobs, with 40% of jobs changing, not disappearing. That's an important point, because you will be creating opportunities for others in the future, graduates. We hope that your UWA degree will empower and equip you to succeed in a career of your choosing, possibly, of course, the career not yet created. But each of you has the capacity to do that and to make a difference to society. Importantly, through your studies, you've developed the capacity to embrace change, provide innovative solutions, and to question and to be open to new ideas and to new possibilities. It is an exciting time for you, and a time to rise of the challenge of what will come next. Many of our graduates here today are already making their mark and have achieved great things during their time at UWA. During the year, several of our graduates have been recognised with awards and honours for their important achievements. The faculty awarded a total of 209 prizes and scholarships in 2017. This faculty also had 60 students take part in a study abroad programme in universities around the world, from Norway to New Mexico. What a wonderful way to get some international experience and education. I'm delighted that you chose to study at this university, and while we're sorry to see you leave, we all know this is not farewell, because you will always be part of the UWA community. You will always be welcome here, and we will do our best to support you throughout your career. And in turn, we hope you will stay connected and become an active alumni member. What makes UWA special and unique is that when the university was established, our founders placed great importance on building a community of graduates, Convocation. And Convocation exists to ensure all graduates have that lifelong connection. So finally, graduates, your hard work and dedication have led you to this moment, and wherever your journey leads you from here, you should be very proud of your achievements. This is your day. Enjoy it. Congratulations to you all. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Adrian Finney. Adrian is Director of Private Property and Investment Group's FJM Property and Finney Group. He's been involved in the property development, investment and construction industries in Western Australia since 1977. He is currently a member of UWA's Business School Board, and he served on the university's New Century Campaign Committee. He was a board member of the Art Gallery of WA and chair of the Art Gallery of WA Foundation for over 10 years, was awarded the Medal for the Order of Australia for his contribution to arts in 2014. He was named West Australian of the Year and West Australian Entrepreneur of the Year in 2016. Please join me in welcoming Adrian Finney.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chancellor, the Honourable Robert French, Vice-Chancellor, Professor Dawn Freshwater, Lance Mashmet, members of Senate, faculty, friends, family and graduates. I'm truly honoured to be celebrating here with you today. To all of the graduates, congratulations, you've made it. I remember sitting in this exact room many, many years ago and feeling the same relief, excitement and trepidation, so please enjoy it. I was a commerce graduate, and I've come a long way to speak to you here today. To the graduates of engineering and mathematical science, I always admired your faculty, not only for its esteemed history in drinking, but also for being at the coalface of what is our technological innovation. And as we know, technology is the most important cultural and economic driver in our age. We're seeing technology and its growth exponentially. In the last century, we've faced enormous population growth. It's delivered us our greatest numbers of scientists, our greatest urban change, and also our greatest change in health and longevity. What you will be all looking forward to and assisting in is the greatest technological change that this world has ever seen. With this, we will have to learn to live with enormous social upheaval, work dislocation, and hopefully employment reinvention. You know, as you may remember, it only took 20 years from 1900 to 1920 to go from a few thousand cars in the world to in excess of 6 million. You know, those first cars looked like carts, and today we won't even recognise their familiarity. The changes that technology will bring in the next 1 to 2 decades will have a similar massive and unforeseen change. So the future is here. Within this next decade, we will live the greatest changes as the convergence of technology results in singularity. We're going to create a world of abundance. The exponential advancement within your engineering and mathematical science industries, such as artificial intelligence, robotics, blockchain, nanotechnology and 3D printing, the neurosciences, our new forms of energy creation, education and the future of work, and obviously space and physics. With these new industries, they're all our new boom industries. They're all at a point of exponential growth, and they're a tip of an iceberg that will deliver us all to a new world much sooner than we all expect. And you're all part of that world, and you're all going to be part of its creation. So your destiny now is yours to own. So rather than be daunted by it or even a dreamer about it, just enjoy the ride. If anything, hope that it's not an easy one. Find the obstacles, the potholes, the challenges, because if you don't, it will be boring and you won't learn anything. But the most important thing is to make that road fun. I'm not going to bore you too much with my career in too much detail, but I'm going to tell you about what I have learned so far, and if I had my time again, I would do it the same way. From the start of my career as a property developer, I learnt from the ground up and constantly strive to do it better the next time and still have fun. But how do you have fun? Do you be passionate and strive to achieve your desired goals? Diversify your life and your career. This will not only keep you interested, it will allow you to bring in your passion, and without you knowing it, you are learning and having fun. For an example, as a human being, I like beer, but I know nothing about it, and it does taste good, and it also makes you feel good. And I'm sure many of the engineers know about that. So with a few friends a number of years ago, we all brought different skills together, including legal, marketing, accounting, science and property development, and we thought, why don't we create, own and operate a brewery in Fremantle? So we did, and we called it Little Creatures Brewery. Though we all had full-time jobs, we managed to make it a great success over many years and had many plans to expand which were underway across the eastern states. Sadly, or not so sadly, after 14 years, a good offer came from a major brewer, and we sold with no regrets, a little bit more cash, and the only real regret was from my children who missed out on owning a brewery. But we all took a risk and shared a passion, and we made it work. Were we lucky or were we geniuses? Maybe a bit of both, but it was about learning together, and with all of our different skill sets, we also got to drink some more beer. But then also it's about discovering a passion and finding a passion. It can be any shape or form. For myself, it's always been, I've been passionate about architecture, design, art, hospitality, travel, and also dogs. So that much, pretty much covers life in general. But just having one passion is fine. If you have none, keep looking, please. When you are passionate, you allow yourself to be challenged. When you are challenged, you achieve more things. For example, I've always loved heritage buildings as a property developer, and in our city on the corner of Barrack Street and St George's Terrace stood the old Treasury buildings. They showed so much potential and beauty and had so much history to share, yet they just sat there rotting. I tried for many years to negotiate with government without any success. Finally, after 15 years of trying, I obtained the lease on those buildings, spent the next few years and many dollars redeveloping it into the state buildings, which combines restaurants, bars, and what is now regarded as Australia's finest hotel. It's obviously been a difficult project and an expensive one, but as a developer, it constantly challenged me, and now as an owner and operator, it will always challenge me. But it was done with passion, and that's what we wanted. Don't get me wrong, within your career there are many parts of your future that you will dislike, but they still have to be done to achieve the outcome. For me, it might be paperwork, meeting with councils, even dealing with Lord Mayors, attending back-to-back meetings and having to attend a function when you don't wish to. But however, there is always a little pain to get to that gain. All the dots will connect up eventually, not to define any real meaning or any real purpose, but connect and evolve you into who you can be. It's your responsibility and yours alone, so please make mistakes, be true to yourself, and never stop learning. This will allow you to be part of creating what is our future and which will be your future. So my lessons to share with you are: diversify your life, it will bring you satisfaction. Lead by example, it will inspire your team, your family, your friends, and together you will achieve whatever goal you set. Stumble and fall, but don't fail, because you've learnt something. Embrace the lesson and get up and be thankful for it. Never be afraid to take risks. The lessons are priceless. And don't measure your success by money and status. Measure it by the experiences that you gain. It will make you the wealthiest person in the world. And always, please, respect everybody in the room and never lower your integrity. And imagine this: if everyone had the purpose of making the world a better place for our children and grandchildren, no matter how small your contribution will be, then your future will always look good. Learn and pass it on and make that your purpose. So thank you for listening, and please enjoy the journey and please have fun.
Thank you, Mr. Feeney, for that call to life as an adventure for our graduates.
I think you will agree that Mr. Feeney's address is a fitting introduction to the primary purpose of this ceremony, which is to confer upon graduates degrees and diplomas of the university in recognition of their academic achievements. My name is Professor John Dell, Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences. It's my pleasure today to present a graduate to the Chancellor for conferral of the award of Graduate Diploma of this university. Chancellor, for the Graduate Diploma in Engineering, Ridge Alexander Shrubshaw.
On behalf of the University, I confer the award of Graduate Diploma upon the graduand presented to me by the Pro-Vice-Chancellor and the Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences.
It is now my pleasure to present graduands to the Chancellor for the conferral of the degree of Master of this university. I will be presenting graduands in two groups separated by a musical interlude. Chancellor, for the degree of Master of Engineering in Oil and Gas, Monu Paul Abraham. Vasabaraj Birada. Michael Pharmakis. Andres Felipe Gonzalez Cardona. Cheng Lu. Yi Layu. Sanil Sudhakaran Menon. Leo Reynolds Silva Rapone. Vishnu Seelan, Rawal Singh, Yi Sun, Alan Sibu Thomas, Xiao Wong, Ruwinda Dylan Wazasinga, Zaiqian Yang, for the degree of Master of Information Technology, Claire Elizabeth Alexandra Abbott, Kayu Kamalesh Modi, for the degree of Master of Information Technology with distinction, Yong Ji. For the degree of Master of Medical Physics, Jonathan David Thompson. For the degree of Master of Philosophy, Thomas Joseph Lawrence. For the degree of Master of Physics, Astronomy and Astrophysics, Dylan Anthony Krusek Pakualo. For the degree of Master of Physics, Astronomy and Astrophysics with distinction, Jonas Samuel Gannon. Austin Xiaofan Shen. For the degree of Master of Physics, Computational Physics with distinction, Callum Eric Schofield. For the degree of Master of Physics, Medical Physics with distinction, Alexander Graham Burden. Mario Jukulik. Joshua Jack Hyatt. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Chemical Engineering, Dion Ackerman. Christopher Liam Bell. Bai Wen Chen. Daba Galayini. Ying Xiong Go. Matthew Gavin Hopkins. Janet Christie John Brito. Nazir Khan. Josip Kanesevic. Jody N. Wee Ko. Jonathan Sudra Cristianto. Michael Jack Leathersich. Jonathan Thomas Feng Eng Lee. Alexandra Jane Liu. Cody James Lewis. Mi-Lan Lee. Zhao Chen Liu. Wai Ye Jo Lo. Jack Colin McIntosh. Razak Seyran bin Nasser Rudin. Tony Sips. Seshastri Nath Sriram. Xiaofeng Sun. Venus Tran. Rebecca Elise Vincent. Alexander Vukomirich. Aaron Christopher White. Alexis Ryan Wood. Juan Hao Yang. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Chemical Engineering with distinction, Nicola Ann Brune. Nigel Lee N. Hugh. Ava Kazemi. Hannah Elizabeth McClure. Jed Henry Wiley. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Civil Engineering, Shama Galeb Abbasi. Shamshid Farooq Banja. Melissa Blaziski. Vincent Pocket. Jeremy James Brunette. Eugene Chen. Zewei Chen. Sean Mullins Christie. Martin Sinclair Craft. Eduardo Vincent Dea Clemente. Peter Tai Son Tao. James Patrick Dermody. Albert Kai V. Dong. Courtney Jane Elliott. Matthew James Forsyth. Corne Furi. Li Yang Fu. Ronnie Gideon. Zeus Christopher Gilperez Ronzan. Jayu He. Xian Ho. Guanqi Wang. Mariam Khan. Timothy Sayun Kim. Anthony Kwong Kwok Lee. Jordan Lee. Jonty Matthew Lewis. Chao Sun Lee. Yi Fei Lee. Dong Liang. Bo Long. Sinead Murphy Maguire. Ryan Chen McIlduff. Mohammed Asfand Nazir. Ngoc Hui Nguyen. Nguyen Tien Nat Long. Christian Nikoloski. Sonam Norbu. Gersom Makarios Ong. Dylan Jordan Pegararo. Lin Thieu Pham. Julian Salio. Stephen Jean Savage. Risto Haki Savolayan. Felix Hunter Smith. Yun Tang. Kingston Yi Young Rianne van der Merwe. Tivik Sajil Vijay Kumar. Jian Wong. Jia Jin Jiao. Ke Jin Zhu. Caleb Jiao Zhao. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Civil Engineering with distinction, Laura Jane Cushion. Justin Edward Gellard. Bradley George Saunders. James William Trutnell. Lining Wong. Dai Fei Xiao. Mei Xuan Jiang. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Laurie Ordano. Yong Ren Chin. Erin Kan Gungo. Jack Yan Shi Kwan. Stephen Tai Tuan Lam. Jia Yang Li. Xiaobin Lin. Yingwei Liu. Anthony Narain Lowe. Jason Liu. Adrian Monaco. Matthew Simon Romana. Frederick Santana. Nguyen Minh Tran. Ji Yong Wu. Ting Xu. Zhongxie Yang. Chaoyan Yi. Boda Zhang. Yingxie Zhang. Jianxi Zong. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Electrical and Electronic Engineering with distinction, Peter Nicholas Bouvet. Elizabeth Mary Dogood. Ken Yao Fu. Aaron Kerry Henry Hurst. Jake Donato Sacchino. Chun Chiao Wang. And Xiang Kit Yong.
The University is very proud of its Conservatorium of Music and of the performance standards of its students. So I have great pleasure in introducing a brief musical interlude by members of the Con Cantorum, one of UWA's vocal ensembles, who will be performing Over the Rainbow.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind. Where robins melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly. Oh, when all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around. Heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found. Leaning from your window pane. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really come true. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. If birds fly over the rainbow, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't
It is my pleasure now to present graduates to the Chancellor for conferral of the degree of Master of this university. Chancellor, for the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Environmental Engineering, Chelsea Marie Bambrick. Alison Julia Caldwell. Mukaka Stella Bowa Chansongo. Reuben Percival Martin Kolaku. Joshua Cran. Jae Yong Liang. Rowena Wen Tien Lo. Eleanor Mala. Katrina Mala. Leo Eric Reith. Wei Hao Wong. Zizhuan Zhang. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Environmental Engineering with distinction, Mia Ruth Carlton. Emma Grace Congier. Timothy Ryan Holton. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Mechanical Engineering, Peter John Baskovich. Melvin Bazuki. Ashley William Biddulph. Ebony Ellen Paula Blake. Christian Anders Bonner. Mitchell Manjendi Kari. Ryu Win Chang. Chung Yi Chong. Jin Hao Chong. Michael Boram Choi. Catherine Grace Cullen. Jaden Grant Daedler. Ian Colin Damant. Zachary Lee Montgomery Dawson. Justin Carlos Cruz del Campo. Daniel Demaris. Rory Shaw Edwards. Kevin Eskay. Alex Cameron Ferguson. Navindra Dushan Alslem Fernando. Travis Trevor Germain. Zhen Long Gong. Zhu Jiang He. Yi Ken He. Winston Leonard Huck. Wen Ji Mitchell Kaur. Lee Yo Ko. Mohammed Tariq Sultan Konkadekada Sarul Hamid. Trevor Raymond Lake. Jin Shui Lin. Chiang Liu. Yu Liu. Julian Zinzhen Liu. Thomas Peter Madison. Paul Nicholas McRae. Ji-Won Park. Hashmukbai Patel. Joshua Andre Pimentel. Marvin Salaka Pulido. Daniel James Robertson. Christopher William Rogers. Tanush Ruhal. Jason Sam. Corey Savage. Josraj Singh Seha Khan. Serena Suzmit Shah. Shobit Shekhar. Thomas Christopher Shenson. Jackson Imre Simkovic. Tarenvir Kamelda Singh. Riley Bryce Skipworth. John Mark Somerville. Philip Hokan Tai. Zai Hu Ting. Sean Lam Than Tran. Luca Trimboli. Michael Kevin Troncone. Mark Warren Wickraam Singer. Elliot Jack Willis. Kanan Win. Gilbert Wong Si Hao. Jin Jie. Jason Yongwan Yong. Daniel Zhen Chen Yong. Zijian Zhang. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Mechanical Engineering with distinction, Dion Aidan Bonza. Alistair Lee Shan Chin. Jia Jing Ku. Stephanie Yim Sum Lai. Louis Philippe Maurice Menage. Nicholas Bruce Pizanadakis. Ross Llewellyn Gwyn Sharoni. Roel Suresh. Louis Jiang Wong. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Mining Engineering, Avinash Raja Ashok Kumar. Julian Peter Jackson. Lionel Norman Jackson. Vishmi Kumajanga. Cha Lee. Hong Yang Liu. Hua Miao. Wei Shen. Fei Shi. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Mining Engineering with Distinction, Bo Hao. Luke Robin Jackson. For the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Software Engineering, Joel Glenn Freeman. James Chi Keong Herkop. Leighton Reese Lilford. Ragini Malhotra. Thomas Mitchell Selby Smoker. Lei Wong. Jiaoji Wei. And for the degree of Master of Professional Engineering, Software Engineering with Distinction, Travis George Povey.
On behalf of this university, I confer the degree of Master upon the graduates presented to me by the Pro-Vice Chancellor and Executive Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences.
My name is Professor Kate Wright, and I am the Dean of the Graduate Research School. It is my pleasure today to present graduands to the Chancellor for the conferral of the degree of Doctor of this university. To qualify for the award of a doctoral degree of this university, a graduand is required over not less than 3 years to complete training at an advanced level and to pursue research leading to a thesis that makes a substantial and original contribution to knowledge. The thesis is examined by 3 distinguished scholars of international standing, and the examination process subjects the thesis to criticism and evaluation at the highest level and ensures that a recipient of the degree has demonstrated the ability to carry out successful research which satisfies rigorous standards. Chancellor, I now present to you graduands who have completed theses that have fulfilled the requirements for the award of the degree of Doctor of this university. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and for a thesis entitled On the Geometry of Images, I present to you Joel Bosveld. For a thesis entitled Performance of Plate Anchors Under Sustained Loading, I present to you Chao Han. for a thesis entitled The Applications of Benchtop Low-Field Nuclear Magnetic Resonance Spectroscopy in Characterizing Oil Field Emulsions, I present to you Nicholas Nai An Ling. And for a thesis entitled Key Phrase Extraction from Distributional Feature Engineering to Distributed Semantic Composition, I present to you Rui Wang.
On behalf of the University, I confer the degree of Doctor upon the graduates presented to me by the Dean of the Graduate Research School. On behalf of the University, I now confer in absentia respective awards upon those graduates who were unable to be present at this ceremony and whose names are printed in the program. Ladies and gentlemen and graduates, we now come to a very important part of the ceremony, the conferring of an honorary degree which recognises distinguished service by an individual who has made a significant difference to the community. He is a graduate of this university, one of its philanthropic supporters, an adjunct professor and a community and business leader. It gives me great pleasure to invite the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Freshwater, to introduce and present Mr. Adrian Finney for conferral of the honorary degree of Doctor of Commerce.
Chancellor, Mr. Adrian Finney is Director of FJM Property Limited and Finney Group Limited, private property and investment groups. The son of migrant Italian parents, Adrian grew up in Perth. He studied commerce at the University of Western Australia and interior design in London before joining his father and brother in the family property development business. His father, Tony, started the business in 1956, 8 years after family migrated to Western Australia. Adrian has been involved in the property development and property investment and construction industries in Western Australia since 1977. He was appointed Managing Director of the Finney Group in 1994, and following its merger with Mirvac in 2001 became the Chief Executive of the expanded Mirvac Finney business. He was subsequently appointed an Executive Director of Mirvac, responsible for that group's development division, followed by an appointment as a non-executive director. Adrian has spent some 40 years at the forefront of some of Perth's best-known developments, designing and constructing many of the spaces in which we live, work and play. The list ranges from specialised boutique buildings, such as the one we heard about earlier, Little Creatures in Fremantle, and the Alex Hotel in Northbridge, to entire precincts such as Cathedral Square and more functional spaces including apartment buildings and retirement villages. Adrian believes that all Western Australians should have access to affordable and attractive housing, a goal that he actively pursues through diverse and innovative designs and partnerships with government and industry leaders. A key project of Adrian's, the opening of the restored state buildings, including the Como Treasury Hotel, was the culmination of almost 20 years of planning and development. When it opened, The newly refurbished building was dubbed the best new hospitality venue in Perth, winning the 2016 Western Australian Hospitality Award for Excellence. Adrian is also a highly respected businessman and community leader who thinks about the future of this state, what it might look like and what West Australians will need going forward. He's helped to change the face of Perth through his significant property developments. In addition, he's made a significant contribution to the West Australian community and the vibrancy of this state through his role as chairman of the Art Gallery of Western Australia Foundation and a board member of the Perth Festival. As you heard earlier, in 2014, he was awarded an Order of Australia for his service to the arts. In addition to Adrian's contribution to business and the arts, he has been and continues to remain a strong advocate for education. He's played a vital role in enhancing the student experience here at this university through his generous philanthropic support of the recently refurbished Reed Library and the Rosemary Nathanson Financial Markets Trading Room in the Business School. As an adjunct professor and an active member of the UWA Business School Board until late last year, he was also a member of the New Century Campaign Committee. He's also accomplished and greatly valued alumnus and member of the university community. Chancellor, in recognition and appreciation of his commitment of time, energy, expertise to our university, to the City of Perth, and to the state of Western Australia, it is my privilege to present to you for conferral of the honorary degree of Doctor of Commerce, Mr. Adrian Finney.
On behalf of this university, I'm pleased to confer the honorary degree of Doctor of Commerce upon Adrian Finney. I now invite the Warden of Convocation, Dr. Doug McGee, to address today's new graduates.
Fellow graduates, as the Warden of Convocation of this university, I congratulate you on your graduation. For many of you, it's not the first graduation here, so it's a double welcome and a double congratulation. You join the diverse and incredibly talented alumni of this university. You know that because of UWA's unique structure and supporting legislation, you also automatically joined Convocation earlier and confirm it today, Convocation, the representative body of graduates, as lifelong members. Members of Convocation have the right and privilege to share in and contribute to the intellectual and cultural life of the university and to stand for election to the Council of Convocation and for 2 places on the Senate elected by members. I hope you can take that opportunity. You join with over 150,000 graduates who have successfully completed their studies at UWA over the past 100 years. The friendships you have developed in your postgraduate studies are fostered within Convocation to support valued lifelong networks. Convocation's members range from young to older, and all are welcomed, valued and supported. As time passes after this graduation, you'll enjoy seeing and hearing the stories of success of your fellow members. And you've heard one wonderful story of that this evening, or this afternoon, I should say, with Dr. Adrian Finney, a great story. Convocation is proud to be able to promote the wonderful achievements of our members and looks forward to telling your story. I welcome you again as a member, and encourage you to continue the relationship with the university, which began when you first chose to study here and continues as a member of Convocation. Congratulations and best wishes.
Today we celebrate the achievements of our students, and it's appropriate therefore that a student voice should be heard to mark the occasion. I'm pleased to invite Ms Elizabeth Duguid, who graduated today with the Master of Professional Engineering, Electrical and Electronic Engineering with distinction, to give the valedictory address.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Senate, distinguished guests, members of staff, graduates and their guests. I address you with great humility in being chosen to speak on behalf of today's graduates. Before I begin, let me first acknowledge the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to elders past and present. In sitting down to write this speech, I struggled to identify what I could say which would be representative of my fellow graduates and their time here at university. You see, my own university experience could be described as unorthodox. Last semester was my 14th and final semester at UWA. Yes, I did say 14, and luckily I didn't fail any units. Despite having the majority of my peers graduate before me, I do not regret taking my time in completing my degrees, because it allowed me the great privilege of fulfilling my sporting ambitions. Now, I've already been far too egotistical, so I shall get to the point. One of the reasons that I spoke of my own somewhat unusual path was to highlight that I believe every student's time at university is unique. While some of us may have taken the same classes, had the same deadline pressures, or even joined the same clubs, our inherent differences as individuals meant that our experiences differed, or at the very least, our perceptions of those experiences. And as such, it makes it quite difficult to speak of shared memories and reflections. However, I can be sure that as with life in general, we would have all felt a range of emotions during our time here. And from all of those, there was something to be gained. The highest of highs, like launching Project Rockets on James Oval, gave us feelings of elation and accomplishment, while the lowest of lows, like your laptop dying while you're writing the conclusion of your unsaved lab report due tomorrow, still at the very least provided us with lessons to be learnt. And after all, we did enroll to learn. And what a privilege it is to learn, to have an education, and furthermore a tertiary education. I've always felt that everyone has the right to an education, but until this right is afforded to everyone, those of us lucky enough to receive it should view it as a privilege. So many people in the world are far less fortunate than us when it comes to education, and I believe it should always remind us to be grateful for the opportunity to learn. Gratitude itself is a wonderful and powerful feeling. Personally, I have so much to be grateful for, and reminding myself of what that is never fails to brighten my mood. So on that note, it would be remiss of me not to take this moment to thank some of the people with whom we've shared our unique university experiences. I hope that I speak on behalf of the graduates as I thank the following. To our loved ones. One can never underestimate the power of a strong support base. You were there from the beginning, and for many of us, you are here now fittingly at the end. And for all of us, the in-between would have been far more difficult without you by our sides. We thank you for that. To our lecturers and tutors, thank you for your wisdom, your time, and quite often your patience. UWA has some of the finest academic staff in the world, and we've all benefited from that, I'm sure. Finally, thank you all our other university staff, including administration and carers of this beautiful campus. Even in the most stressful times, such as waiting outside before an examination, I was always calmed by the serenity of these grounds, and for that I'm very grateful. As I mentioned earlier, studying at university does not come without its stressful times. And although it could be argued that this should only prepare us for future careers, I worry that this has normalised unhealthy levels of stress. In giving this speech, I've experienced understandable signs of stress and nervousness induced by public speaking. My palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. But in all seriousness, while these feelings are not uncommon for my present situation, they're all too common and less understood for people in seemingly less confronting situations. I've witnessed firsthand with my immediate family, close friends and sporting teammates the devastating and also subtle ways that mental illness can inflict on a person's life. And until we treat mental health with the same frankness and openness as our physical health, it will remain an unnecessary taboo in our society. Again, you're possibly wondering how this fits into a farewell to university. Well, I speak to my fellow graduates in particular when I say that in times of change such as now, many of us will have feelings of uncertainty. This is natural. However, if you ever find yourself in a persistent state of anxiety or feelings of hopelessness, I implore you to seek help. Of equal importance is the ability for us to recognise symptoms of mental illness in others and learn ways that we can best support. Kindness is a choice, and asking someone how they're going and really listening can literally be a life-saving act. So, my fellow graduates, as we move forward into this scary and exciting phase of our lives, let me conclude by saying, we're often told we can choose to be whatever we want to be in this world. But above all else, it's important to choose to be kind. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation in today's proceedings, which has made it a memorable occasion for all of the graduates. I particularly want to thank Dr. Adrian Finney for giving the graduation address and Ms. Elizabeth Dogood for the valedictory address we have just heard. Both of them have enriched these proceedings with their perspectives. To all of those who've graduated today, I offer my warm congratulations. As UWA graduates, your achievements will enhance the reputation of the university. We hope that you will keep in touch with us over the coming years to let us know what you are doing and that you will retain a lifelong connection as part of the university community. The ceremony is now concluded, and I invite you to join us on Whitfield Court for light refreshments. Members of the audience are asked to rise and remain standing in their places until the procession, including the new graduates, has left the hall.